Global Thermostat is a company that's trying to help with climate change by coming up with ways to remove carbon from the air. And guess what? They just showed off one of the biggest machines ever made that does just that. This machine has been working since the end of 2022 and can take out more than 1,000 tons of carbon every year. That's a big deal because it means that they can get a tax credit under US law, and they plan to make even more of these machines in the future. Global Thermostat definitely caught the eye of some major players in the US government, including the governor of Colorado, Jared Polis, and the former Speaker of the US House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, and some other top officials. They actually celebrated the opening of Global Thermostat's new headquarters and a new plant that removes carbon from the air. Governor Polis was particularly in support, saying that Colorado is a great place for clean energy companies to do their thing, and that using tools like direct air capture is really important for protecting our planet and reaching our climate goals. During the launch event, Global Thermostat CEO Paul Nahi expressed his excitement about the company's direct air capture technology and its potential to fight climate change. He emphasized that the technology can provide carbon removal and air-based carbon for valuable products, which will help reduce carbon emissions across various sectors of the company. Nahi also noted that Global Thermostat is committed to providing the most efficient and cost-effective direct air capture solution to remove hundreds of billions of tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and eliminate new emissions to protect our climate. The CEO added that the company's technology has been tested and proven, and they're now bringing it to the market to create a global industry that will help stabilize the temperature of the planet. So when exactly was Global Thermostat founded, and how did they get to where they are today? Global Thermostat was founded in 2010, and they quickly became the leaders in direct air capture technology in the United States. Their technology allowing for the removal of carbon dioxide directly from the air, which is a major contributor to climate change, was seen as revolutionary. Since 2020, they've been operating a technology center where a team of scientists and engineers has been working on making their technology even better. They're focusing on scaling up their machines to remove larger volumes of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Global Thermostat's team of over 30 engineers, technicians, and operators, including former oil and gas workers, were joined by elected officials, corporate partners, investors, and environmental NGO leaders to celebrate the launch of the largest direct air capture unit in the US and one of the largest in the world. Colorado Senator Michael Bennet praised Global Thermostat's innovative technology and stated that Colorado is the perfect home for the company's global headquarters. Global Thermostat's solid absorption process has undergone rigorous testing over the last decade to tackle the technical challenges associated with direct air capture, such as the need to process large volumes of air and provide cost-effective energy for regeneration. The company uses highly efficient industrial fans to blow air through proprietary solid absorbent media, which selectively captures carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. The US Department of Energy is supporting the company's progress towards larger capacity devices, with a grant funding the development of a direct air capture plant with an annual capacity of 100,000 tons, set to be completed this year. Over the past year, Global Thermostat has expanded its technology and product development capabilities, including hiring additional staff and upgrading testing facilities. With the company's CEO, Paul Nahi, at the helm, they plan to scale their technology to meet global needs for carbon capture. But Global Thermostat isn't the only company staking their claim in the air purification game. Tokyo Gas in Japan has announced they will start their own decarbonization plant. Before we talk more about them, we want to hear from you. Do you think we'll see more air purification machines? Let us know in the comments section down below. And if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like and of course subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any more awesome content like this. Now let's get back to the video. So you may think that Tokyo Gas is a fairly new company, but it was actually founded in 1885. It just isn't until now that they announced their plans to help reverse climate change. How will they do it? Well, they've set a goal to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2050, which means that they plan to eliminate or offset all of their greenhouse gas emissions by that year. To achieve this, the company is focusing on a few key areas. First, they're increasing their use of renewable energy sources like wind and solar power. They plan to generate 4 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2030, which is enough to power 2 million homes. Second, Tokyo Gas is investing in new technologies like carbon capture and storage, CCS, and hydrogen production. They're working on developing ways to capture carbon emissions from the industrial processes and store them underground, and also exploring ways to produce clean hydrogen using renewable energy sources like solar and wind power. Third, Tokyo Gas is promoting energy efficiency and conservation measures among its customers. They are encouraging households and businesses to reduce their energy consumption through things like energy-efficient appliances and LED lighting, and also offering services like energy audits and energy-saving advice. How will this compare to Global Thermostat and the work they've been doing? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Now, you would think that any company that has a plan to reverse climate change would be celebrated, right? Well, unfortunately, that's not the case with Global Thermostat. They actually have quite a few critics. Why? Well, keep watching, you won't want to miss out on this info. Some critics argue that while carbon capture technology has the potential to remove carbon from the atmosphere, it doesn't address the root cause of the problem, which is the burning of fossil fuels. They argue that more emphasis should be placed on reducing carbon emissions rather than developing technologies to capture it after it's already in the air. Others criticize Global Thermostat's technology specifically, arguing that it's too expensive and energy intensive to be scalable. They point out that direct air capture technology is still in its early stages and is yet to be proven at a large scale. Critics also question the sustainability of the energy needed to power the technology, as well as the environmental impact of disposing of captured carbon. There are also concerns that investing too heavily in carbon capture technology could be a distraction from the urgent need to transition to renewable energy sources and reduce carbon emissions. Some critics argue that the focus should be on investing in renewable energy and reducing energy consumption, rather than relying on technology to solve the problem. Despite these criticisms, Global Thermostat and other companies developing direct air capture technology argue that it is an important part of the solution to combat climate change. They believe that carbon capture technology can work in conjunction with renewable energy and other mitigation strategies to help reach the goal of net zero emissions. Regardless of the critiques, Global Thermostat definitely has the right idea in mind when it comes to combating climate change. In fact, they have no plans to stop anytime soon. They're in this for the long haul. Why? Because they believe that capturing carbon isn't enough. We need to remove it completely from our atmosphere. Global Thermostat argues that while carbon capture, usage, and CCS is an important technology for reducing emissions, carbon dioxide removal, or CDR, is equally vital in the fight against climate change. CCS involves capturing CO2 at the source and then storing it underground, while CDR involves removing historical emissions through nature-based solutions like reforestation or new technologies like direct air capture, DAC. In fact, the UK government has announced a £20 billion investment in CCS over the next 20 years. But Global Thermostat feels that this investment should also include funding for CDR methods. While CCS will be helpful in the transition away from fossil fuels, it should not be used as an excuse to slow down the transition or ignore CDR. It's important to note that the US has already invested billions of dollars in carbon removal approaches, including $3.5 billion for 4 DAC hubs alone, and the UK risks losing out on an opportunity for green growth if it does not invest in novel carbon removal methods soon. Global Thermostat feels the UK, as a world leader in research, should leverage its position to nurture climate startups and support engineered carbon removal methods. Without more funding and regulatory support, UK climate innovations risk getting stuck in the valley of death, where significant funding is required to make the transition from academic research to commercialization. But what does the future in the US look like funding-wise for companies like Thermostat? The Biden administration's climate plan, like Tokyo Gas, includes a goal to reach net zero emissions by 2050. And to achieve this, they've set a target of investing $1.5 trillion in climate-related initiatives over the next 10 years. This includes funding for research and development of carbon removal technologies and the deployment of large-scale CCS projects. There is also bipartisan support for increased funding for carbon removal technologies. For example, in October 2021, a group of Republican senators introduced the SCALE Act, which aims to provide $25 billion in funding for the development of carbon capture, utilization, and storage technologies. So it's easy to see that governments from around the world are quite involved in this discussion, and it's because of companies like Global Thermostat that are helping to raise awareness and fight not only for the health of the planet, but the health of all of us.